Hello, welcome to Tabletops and Bottoms,
the show where we talk about all things TTRPG, nerdy, and or gay.
That was good. Well done. I like that. Listen, shout out to my sister who came up with a name for Tabletops and Bottoms. True allyship. So let's get into our first topic, which is D&D is hard. First of all, you cannot deny that it's hard.
Yeah, that's true.
Listen, I very much had that stereotypical pop culture nerds sitting in their living rooms with pencils and papers and shit, and then lo and behold, I turned into that. Yeah, I mean proudly I turned into that.
I heard you've been into it longer than I have. How long have you been doing D&D?
In years?
Yeah.
I feel like it's not that long compared to a lot of people, but I started in college. So 6 or 7 years ago, I think is when I started.
That's still a good amount.
That's true. I'm not in the double digit. There are some people that I know who are yeah, I've been playing D&D for 15 years.
Yeah. That's crazy. I always wanted to do D&D, but never had anyone to do it with until you, because you were already playing, and then you're the one that invited me into it. But my uncle used to play when he was a kid, and he has a bunch of old little figures that he keeps saying he's gonna give me, and then he never has. So I have to bully him about that. But yeah, before, I think also a hurdle for people trying to get into D&D is definitely the playbooks being so expensive.
Dude, I remember when I first got my player's handbook, my God, I was severely debating on whether I actually needed it because it was so expensive.
Yeah. It was really funny because the first time that I tried playing a TTRPG, it was no rules. There was nothing. All we had was notebook paper, and we're we're gonna make our own stupid little characters. And then it immediately went to an hour later because people were yelling at me that I couldn't do what I was trying to do.
Wait, what was this?
This was before I met you. But literally all we had was notebook paper, and we're gonna be we're gonna figure this out ourselves because we didn't have any money to buy things.
Oh my God.
So literally it was just character creation, and that's where we crumbled into pieces, where they said I couldn't do what I wanted. I was trying to be the Terminator.
Listen, you know what? I actually found out that's a really good jumping point into a lot of people that I know. When they started playing D&D, they were we don't know what to do in terms of characters. So they just picked characters that they liked from movies and anime and stuff.
It wasn't even I was trying to be Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Terminator. I just made a cyborg, and I had just watched the first Mad Max movie, and the kid in that movie is named something really stupid, and so I named my character that name. I totally forgot what it was, but I was trying to be God mode, unkillable, and everyone yelled at me. Or was it that? No, it was that. Plus, I was also trying to set myself up for a heel turn later because I knew I wanted to go evil. Oh. And then they were you can't do that. And I was yes, I can. I'm telling you no, that I want to go evil later. And they were you can't do that. Yeah. And I went to it didn't even last an hour and a half.
That's honestly that's amazing. I remember the first time I played D&D, I also, at this point, I didn't know what metagaming was. So, I was fully, immersed in whatever story that they were telling, and of course, I had a bunch of knowledge that I should not have known.
Uh-huh.
So I was trying to, play into that, because I had no idea this was my first session, and I remember our DM, he goes, I get that you're trying to be funny, but, and I was straight up, humbled me right then and there. I was I feel I just got yelled at by a teacher. Granted, I know that I needed to hear it, but I was oh.
So for people who don't know, what is metagaming?
Oh, so metagaming is when you have, knowledge outside of the game. Stuff that you yourself as a player knows, but that your character wouldn't know.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, sometimes players are tempted to bring that outside knowledge into game, and that's what's known as metagaming. I am guilty of accidentally giving my players a lot of outside knowledge that they shouldn't know. But, like, shout out to all of them. Marisa, Alma, Misha, Nicole, 10 out of 10. Y'all, like, keep it real. I've never had an issue with metagaming with you guys, like, ever.
That's good.
And there are also some times where I will, like, say things that I definitely shouldn't be saying, but in my defense, usually I happen to be drunk.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You've given me many, many hints about what's coming.
Yeah, I really have.
But also, luckily, I forget them immediately.
That's also true. I don't know if Alma does, because Alma's usually the responsible one out of all of us. I will say.
Probably.
Okay.
Probably like 8 out of 10 times she'll probably forget.
But I think like another thing that was like hard about learning D&D, first of all, let's be real, being a GM fucking sucks sometimes. Because like a lot of times people kind of like look to you
Yeah.
for the answers.
Yeah.
And I will say, as much as I love D&D, I am also the type of person where I'm like, if I don't understand it, I don't give a shit about the rules that are written. I will absolutely be like, do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah. That's what I like, though.
Okay.
Yeah, and I haven't GM'd. It's coming. It's slowly closer. Elsa hasn't answered my text, but it's coming.
Listen, for all of you out there is an episode later where we will talk about Marisa and things that she has learned while playing or being a first-time GM.
Oh, God. Okay. It's gonna be weird because I'm cobbling this together.
Listen, I think it's fine because, like, we all, like, have to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And, like, this is actually, like, really hard because, like, the books themselves are, like, what, hundreds of pages long?
Yeah.
And, like, let's be real, I personally don't have quite the attention span to get through all of it in, like, one sitting or multiple sittings. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the most that I have fully read into it was, like, the character races, and, like, that's probably it. Like, I've skimmed through the rest, like, let's be real. And then everything else I've purely relied on, like, Googling stuff.
Yeah. I've been trying to read through things. I've definitely read all of the book of the one that I'm going to GM, but it's just, like, the minimum because it's still being kickstarted. So I'm waiting. But I think I have enough. I have the bones.
Nice.
Yeah. My friend, my coworker let me borrow his monster manual so I can pull monsters from it. And this other book that he has that's like a bunch of one-shots. So he was like, here's some ideas. So thank you, Travis.
What scares you the most about, like, playing this game? Or, like, being a GM for the first time in general?
Oh, not remembering things. But it's more like, if we play a session and then it goes longer than that, well, how am I going to remember what happened the last time? Like, how am I going to remember, like, what characters did I create for you guys? Like, if I make up a voice and then the next time, I was going to be totally different because I'm going to forget.
Listen, there are some characters where I don't genuinely remember what accent or like what voice I tried to give them.
Yeah.
So then I would just like pull something new out of my ass every time. And the good thing is none of y'all actually remember what the character originally sounded like.
Okay.
And it's not like I'm recording our session, so it's like no one can call me out on it either.
That's true. Okay. I mean, I just have to do it for the first time to get over like that hurdle. Yeah. It'll happen one of these days.
Listen, I think you'll be great.
It's high praise.
I mean, okay, look, we all have to start somewhere. And like once you get into it, it does get easier.
Yeah.
Like, and at some point, like, despite the fact that you might not just know a lot of stuff, I think, well, I'm hoping, like, based on like whatever table that you have,
yeah,
your players are understanding of that.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Let's circle back around to our original topic, which was D&D is hard. Yeah.
It's hard.
It really is.
Good luck.
Yeah,
Godspeed.
that's true. Like, do you have any advice for anybody who just like wants to start playing D&D, but they're like, this shit is hard?
Start as a player, probably. Maybe do what you did. Go on your Facebook group that you found.
Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of communities out there. Like, if you're looking to find your people, and if you also happen to be part of a marginalized community, there is a D&D Facebook group online called Dungeons and Diversity. I'm a part of that group. I think I invited you as well to it.
I don't go on Facebook.
That's fair. I'm a part of that group. That is actually how I found our other two players. And we've been playing for a solid, 2.5 years now.
It's been a while.
Yeah, almost 2.5 years. And then we saw each other for the first time last year. And it was fantastic. If you are afraid to, join a group, there's plenty of, also play-by posts, if you want to do those.
I'm not sure. I've never done it, but if you ever go to a con or something, they usually have tables where you can just join. Usually the DM has pre-made characters for you, and most of the time I think they should be really nice. I know someone who has done that in the past, so he was pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of resources. Also check out your local comic book stores.
Yeah.
A lot of times they have open table nights. I know there's a comic book store that's near me that does Thursday nights. And they do Thursday open tables.
Okay.
And you can literally just join a group, and usually they're one shots. So if
Nice.
you just want to join for one session, you can, and you get a complete pre-made character all the way to the end. But at the same time, don't be afraid to be a GM either. Here's the thing. If it's you and all of your friends and none of you know how to play, it's fine if you're a GM and you don't know whatever the hell you're doing, because everybody's figuring it out together.
No one else is gonna know.
Yeah, exactly. No one else is gonna know. Sometimes it just takes that little bit of bravery. But at the same time, it's also understandable if you want to just get your feet wet by just being a player.
Yeah, my friend is I'm gonna start GMing, and I think it's her first time playing, but she was literally I'm gonna be the GM. You all are gonna be my little players, and I was like, okay, jeez.
Hell yeah, though. That confidence.
I'm a little scared, to be honest. She's gonna do things to us.
Look, shout out to your friend. That's amazing. I am. It is ballsy to be yeah, I'm gonna be a gem and I don't know what I'm doing. But honestly, hell yeah, more power to you.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I fully started off as a GM because nobody else wanted to. Which unfortunately weirdly enough, that also happens to be how I find a lot of things in life that I genuinely enjoy doing.
Okay.
It's because I do the shit that nobody else wants to do. Also, this fun fact, this is how I got into video editing. Because no one else wanted to do it when we were in school. Everybody was like, I want to be a director. I want to be a cinematographer. And nobody was like, I want to be an editor. And I was like, well, I want a good grade, so I guess I'm just going to do it then. That's my career.
Nice.
Not that it's a bad thing. I do actually genuinely enjoy being an editor.
Good. That's good. It's good to like things.
Yeah. But same thing with being a GM. Every week though, it is sometimes a little bit of a struggle, because I'm sometimes they're a little bit too clever. I'm damn, now I gotta rewrite stuff.
Take a break. Don't be afraid to take a break.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Don't be afraid to take a break. It is 100% okay.
Yeah. Sometimes there's just weeks where you want to nap forever.
Yeah. Oh, I have a hot take, probably.
What?
If you don't like D&D, there are other options to play.
That's not a hot take. That's just good advice.
Okay, listen, as much as I feel like this is also going to be a hot take. Maybe not. But as much as I play D&D, and I play in D&D weekly, regularly with you guys.
Yeah.
D&D is like not my forte. I am actually not a fantasy person at all. And yet that is exactly what I play with you every single week.
You're not a fantasy person?
I am not a fantasy person.
This has been a charade. You've been lying to us the whole time.
Here's the thing. I'm very good at playing out like a fantasy world because like there's so much to pull from. And it's also like very easy because that's the world that D&D is set in. So like if I don't know something, I can just look it up. But like
True.
at my heart, I am a cosmic horror person. I love Call of Cthulhu. It is the one tabletop that I actually know very well.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is the one like actual rule book that I have read like all the way through. And I can legitimately just tell you how to play from the top of my head.
I really like the game that we played with you.
Thank you.
It's top tier game.
But yeah, like that is my hot take for this episode. Yeah. If you don't like D&D and you don't like fantasy, play something different. There's a lot of other options out there. My personal favorite is Call of Cthulhu. It's very beginner friendly.
Yeah, the one that I'm going to be jamming is called Powered by the Apocalypse, and that's just the engine. I'm gonna play a different game called Rapscallions, which is about pirates. It should be pretty easy, hopefully. I'll let you know later.
From what I've seen, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's just played by using D6s. You don't need too much math, so
yeah. That's also the other thing. Like D&D requires a lot of different dice. That one, you also have to buy those dice, and like you can do like the online number generators, but it's also kind of fun to actually like have your own physical dice in your hands.
If you buy dice, your wallet is going to be empty, screaming at you because you're just going to want to buy more.
Yeah. I am fully guilty of the fact where I was like, oh, I'm not going to be one of those like people who own hundreds of dice. And I went through an inventory of my dice like a couple weeks ago. I have a lot
them right
more.
now.
I have a lot more than I realized. It's a lot. It's a lot. And like the dice that I have on that shelf over there is not all of my dice. I have more dice that are like in my room.
Okay.
So it's a lot. Dice are, I can't say they're expensive, but
they can get
expensive.
You go to the cons, people make them out of gemstones.
Yep.
$200 for one set.
Yeah, I think $200 is like the most expensive I've ever seen for a set of like gemstone dice.
Yeah. They're so pretty though.
Yeah.
When you start buying a set of dice for all of your characters, you know you've gone too far.
Literally, I have multiple sets of dice for all the characters that I played because they all mean something for each of my characters. But also, ending tip from me, homebrew your like if you don't know what you're doing or you don't like something, homebrew it. Like if it's your own home game or whatever, like absolutely. Do whatever you think is best.
Yeah. Don't let your friends yell at you. I'm just kidding.
How about you? Any last minute tips, tricks?
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Let's end that episode here. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
If you want us to cover something, just push the buttons, leave a comment. Bye.
Bye.